I would like to invite up all past presidents to come forward, please. And if you can stage yourself in the proper order, that would be nice. I would like to pretend that I know what that is, but I don't. So, yes, we know you're number one, too. So, most recent president. Oh, cute, George. Cute. You're not quite a past president yet, so get over here. Oh, okay. Okay. So it sounds like we're going to slowly pass this down the line. Okay, get as cozy as you can. We're trying to fit between the two screens. All right, Larry, scoot your boot down a little bit, and then Jerry. Yeah, yeah, and they each get to say something, so this should be good. Okay, are we figuring this out? We getting this? George, that's incorrect, George. Okay, have we figured out this order here? Okay, scoot in as get as cozy as you can. Cozy, 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 cozy. Yeah, cozy. So each one of you, each one of you got to hold this for 12 months and you had some really cool experiences. The question was, what was the most memorable thing you did? Ah, that's right. Yeah, she's prepared. Carol's already prepared. So the question is, why do you continue to serve in Rotary? And if you can keep that question or the answer one sentence or less. I'm holding it.
We really made a difference in the community.
I have more than a minute. 46 years ago, I had two distinguished doctors, Bolton and Watson, invite me to Rotary, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I've been able to work internationally with Rotarians and meet famous people like Pat Barry and Ed Miller.
Making a difference is hard. As an individual, it really takes a lot. But working with a group like this really makes it happen. So that's why I like to be part of this group.
That's why I'm standing next to him.
The reason I stay in Rotary is for the people in this room. It's all about the people for me, which is the most important thing in my life right now. And all those things they said are great, but it's about you guys.
I stay in Rotary because Rotary changed my life when I joined it. And I am so proud to be a part of an organization that does all the things that we saw reflected in the video and what Rachel talked about. And when you see that done by clubs all over the world, it's amazing.
I stay in Rotary because Rotary makes every day a great day.
I can't follow that. I stay in Rotary because of the relationships and the friendships and everything. I mean, look at Angalee and her artwork for the art show for the church, and Carol, and so glad to see you, and all my friends here, and it's just great. And if you need something, you know who to call. Say, who should we use for this? Oh, that was that. Hold that down. She gets to touch it one more time.
Can I just say ditto? I mean, seriously, it's for the friendships and participation in the projects that really make a difference in the community.
People in the club and being a part of an international organization that does good in the world.
Well, I've stayed in because I tried real hard to get in and get through the classification system. And so I owe a lot. I've enjoyed a lot. I've enjoyed all the people in club service and community service and just Rotary and fellowship. Thank you.
And Jerry, you're still the only CPA in the club. Lifelong learning opportunities through our programs, meetings, and projects, and also an opportunity to give back to others that may make their day a little bit better.
The camaraderie with a group that share the same vision of commitment to the community and giving back.
I'll be honest, I don't always like my family, but I love coming to Rotary. No, I don't. I love being surrounded by people who want to do good in the world and being part of a network that is worldwide. Wait, we gotta get a picture of this. Yeah.
Do you have any words? Any words? Oh, well then.
Yeah. I guess I got a bunch of words to share. I'm actually glad I prepared some slides because we talked about not having time. Oh. Can you get everybody? Do one of these hip things.
All right. Oh my God.
You know, I looked at Rachel's agenda before we got started, and it said we were going to end this part at 1:05. So now I have, what, 23 minutes to fill, but I won't. But what I will do is one of the things is I just got back from the Rotary International Convention in Calgary. And luckily, I prepared some slides. So I'll talk to those, and now I can talk a little slower than I prepared. All right. So, and I guess what happens in Calgary doesn't stay in Calgary because I'm about to give you guys the dirt. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Oh, I have control right here, and I will just hit that button. Look at that. So it was kind of brought up when we had all the folks up here. You know, we meet here weekly and we do our projects, but sometimes you kind of lose sight of the size of the organization we're a part of. It's something that's not in front of you every day. There were 15,000 people at the convention, represented 140 different countries. It was huge. Let's see. Oh, and you think some of the outfits, my little pickle suit, some of the things Kelly's worn, there was like some super Rotary outfit. I mean, yeah, it set the bar higher. So I'll look forward to some things to come. I got new ideas. And you'll see in the bottom corner, that's a picture of District 5110. Everybody from District 5110, except me, because I was too busy doing some sightseeing. I had an hour and a half to kill, and I took an hour and 35 minutes, and I missed the big district picture. So my wife will be tell you, it's no surprise when I'm 5 minutes late, unfortunately. All right, next picture, next slide. Oh, look at that. Come on, George, get with the. Hey, I'm new at this. So key takeaways. I thought if I only had one slide to talk about, like, what did I get out of all this? So one was interesting. We have our new president, Francesco Arezzo, and you talk about new, he had 2 weeks to prepare. I think you guys have all seen emails. There's a succession plan, and Mario, who was before him with 2 weeks to go, stepped down. So Francesco was one of the directors and stepped into that position with 2 weeks. And when we had a chance, Mario came to Pell's up in Seattle. And when Mario said, well, his priorities were, it was membership, membership, membership. So Francesco said, membership, also polio, because it's one of those things, we're so close to the end, and peace. And peace is interesting because the theme of peace, whether it was my antennas being up, but you couldn't go anywhere at this convention and not hear about peace fellowships and the peace effort from Rotary. So one other thing is, for those of you who know me, I'm like an analytic. There's not a chart or graph that I don't like. And they showed some charts, and actually I have one later because I liked it so much. But one of the things I never realized was there's this overlap or linkage with Rotary and the United Nations. And, you know, when you step back and you think about it, it makes a ton of sense, but I'd never made that mentally. And there's a thing called, the UN has they got these cool little icons, 17 icons for sustainable development goals. And Rotary's 7 areas of focus map right into those goals of the United Nations. So it almost, you start to think like it feels like we're like this subset or team of the United Nations. So that was something I took. I already mentioned the emphasis on peace was just amazing everywhere you went. And it was also, I'll use the term a little awkward or surreal. The first day of opening sessions, and one of the first speakers is a peace fellow talking about peace. And that morning when we woke up, we had bombed Iran. So felt a little weird. That's the other thing I thought was another interesting takeaway. One of the speakers was a Nobel Peace Prize winner. And when she talked about peace this was part of one of the general sessions, she got booed by some of the people there. And I thought, no, this is really interesting because as we talk about Rotary, we talk about peace. How do you talk about peace and not talk about politics? And we're not a political club. So how do you enter into that space and not have politics come in? She didn't name names, didn't name parties, but you start suggesting things that would move forward for peace, and it starts sounding political. So it was hard to imagine, a crowd of 10,000 people and her getting booed. All right. All right. Environmental projects, very cool stuff. I'll show because I have this clicker, I'll show you the next slide. So hey, one of the cool things, this gives you an idea of what does an everyday look like at the convention. Every day starts with a 2-hour general session. One was 2.5. Boy, the speakers are so cool. There was our previous president was one speaker, and this is just examples. So one of the good things, I think I talked maybe to Greg a little about this. These general sessions, they were no speaker spoke for maybe more than 20 minutes. So it was 15, you never sat there for a while oh my God, how long is this going to go on? It was 15, 20 minutes, somebody new came, they had entertainment, it was lively, it was informative. And some of the speakers included our past president, the premier of Alberta. The premier is having a state governor come. So she was a great speaker. I mentioned, the head of the World Health Organization. He did a virtual meeting. He was unable to come, but he spoke. We had the woman, Dr. Catherine Hayhoe. She's the chief science of the Nature Conservatory. She talked about global warming and climate, and that was super interesting. Gina Davis, the actress, came and spoke. It was an excellent speaker. And then I won't even try Tawakwal Karman. That was the Nobel Peace Prize laureate who spoke. And Francesco kind of wrapped things up. So great speakers, all super interesting. And next. So here are some cool things. So I haven't been to a big convention. Years ago, I worked for Hewlett Packard and we did, PC, and you'd go to some big trade show in Las Vegas, tens of thousands of people. I hadn't been to one of those in a long time. And you go to the show floor, and again, the analytic comes out. Love the way it was organized. You had these big signs for the 7 areas of focus. So you just quickly look up and say, oh, look, there's the clean water stuff. Oh, look, there's the peace stuff. And you could just kind of march around and see all these different areas. And each one of these was just full of different displays. You could stop in there. And then in addition to those big general sessions, they have what they called hub sessions. And these are 20-minute topics. So in each of those different areas of focus, there'd be a seating area. And sometimes they had a cool little app where you kind of mark down, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. And you think you're going to follow your cool little app schedule. But then you just go walking by and there's somebody talking about something and catches your ear. And before you know it, you're sitting in another session about something you might never have gone to. So thought it was very cool and did a lot of walking around, got a lot of steps in. All right. Oh, so breakout sessions. So these are just some examples of ones that I went to. Oh, and here's that little slide that I love so much. This is all the United Nations goals and how the Rotary goals tie to that. And this came up in a couple different presentations. But I went to one on future-proofing clubs, and the breakout sessions could be an hour, could be an hour and a half. They varied in how much I enjoyed them. A lot of times it depends on sometimes the content, sometimes the presenters. Future-proofing clubs, what your current and future members want, achieving sustainability in your community, the club experience matters. Do you know your members? And this is just an example of things that I went to that caught my eye. I'll let you take one more look at that amazing slide that I like so much. All right. House of Friendship. So this is kind of cool. I never really thought much about this. Before I went, Rachel sent me an email and said, hey, there's this like beer friendship thing or fellowship thing you might like. And I thought, oh my gosh, you got my attention. So, and Rachel said it because she was a member of the Wine Appreciation Fellowship. So I've heard about this stuff before, but it was kind of gone in one ear, out the other, like a lot of things do with me. But they had a whole section of this fellowship. Again, nice little banner up top so you knew where you were. This is just a short list. I don't remember how many. There was, I'll make up a number, 60, 70 different fellowship booths. Anything from bird watching, bees, checkers, you name it, they have a group. So international group, and I went over to the beer booth, and sure enough, I joined them. And not only are we about beer drinking, which is cool, that it ties into one of their things is this, they've been in existence since 2018 and have already donated $40,000 to clean water projects. So when you join, part of your money goes to that, because part of there is like, you can't have beer if you don't have clean water. So that's the what we support. And when I went to that, they had a fun event after hours. 300 people showed up for it. We all went to a local brewery, and I didn't know there was such a thing as too much fellowship. But about 1 a.m, I had my fill of fun, fellowship. So a very good night, a very good evening, a great group of people, and it was also for a good cause. And let's see, do I have one more or am I done? Good. All right, that is it. So before we close for today, we'll close a little early. I did want to stop and make sure we all thank Rachel for her year of service. In addition to Rachel, we have 2 board members who are stepping down this year, Gina and Deb. Deb Gronke's not here, but we should thank our board members. We have 2 new board members stepping in. We should welcome Amber Meyer and Justin. I don't think Justin's here. Justin Maccabee. Some other thank yous. I want to thank Eric Hodnett for the shirt. So, and I probably should thank Laura, his wife, because Laura went to Eric and said, you got a bunch of Rotary stuff sitting in your closet you never wear anymore. George is your size. So I now have a Rotary wardrobe that I've been worn. Some of the logos may not be up to date, but what the heck. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Laura. All right. And for the meeting, thank you, Greg and Bruce. And for here, our stunt double for Bruce Goretto today. Thank you very much. Thank you to our tech team, as always, John and Scott. Thank you to our greeters, Roger and Eric. And I think this is the big close. All right. The wait. Oh, that's it. This is the big close. All right. Enough of that magic of Rotary. I really did want to wave that little thing around. All right. So, and this is interesting because I mentioned we changed presidents, with 2 weeks to go. So I have another one of these with the old president's name on it. But at the Rotary International Convention, some merchandise group came up and already have the new motto with our new president's name. So this is it. This year, it's Unite for Good. So let's use the magic of Rotary to move forward and unite for good. Thank you, everybody. This meeting of the Rotary is, what's the official, how do you say that? All right, we are adjourned.